Welcome back to Kevin Towle Reads, where today we are doing my second original book tag. This is the Reading Ticks tag, and I've scoured YouTube, and I do not believe anyone has ever done a tag of this name. I'm sure some of the questions have been asked before in the thousands of tags everyone does, but collectively, I think this is an original. So I'm just going to go with it. So the Reading Ticks tag has 10 prompts, the 10th being tag and others. So let's dive right into 9 questions. This is all themed around what makes you tick as a reader. And so, question number 1, do you read at a specific time of day? And my answer to that is no, I read whenever I can. I read physical copies in the morning, in the evening, at my lunch hour, on the weekends, throughout the day. I listen to Audible any chance I get, whether I'm out and about, walking, grocery shopping, driving, every chance I get, I'm reading. And so that's my answer to that one. Number 2, do you prefer to read in your work or everyday clothes, or are you partial to comfy clothes or your PJs? This is a good one. Of course it is. I picked it. But for me, I can read in anything, which I have, whether I'm in an airport or somewhere else. But if I have a preference, I definitely like, after the day's at its end, I know I'm not getting out of the house anymore, put on my PJs, pajama pants, comfy clothes, and read. And that's my preference, but I'll read in anything. That could get interesting, by the way, too. So, moving on. Number 3, what is your favorite reading spot? Couch, chair, bed, outdoors, somewhere else? I've read in every single one of these, actually, but my favorite is probably the bed. I've listened to books on the trails. I've listened and read books in an airport waiting for a flight. I read books at home in every place, the kitchen, the couch. I mean, but bed's my favorite. Number 4, do you snack while reading, or is this a no-go? And honestly, I don't recall ever snacking while reading. I do drink while I read, and that's another question, so we'll get to that in a second, but I don't snack while I read. I definitely snack while I'm watching YouTube, but I do not snack while I read. Number 5, do you or have you ever peeked at the end, or do you avoid spoilers at all costs? And I avoid spoilers at all costs. I want to be completely surprised. Even if I'm really invested, I don't like to peek at the end. And so, yeah. Number 6, do you prefer first person or third person narrative, or do you care? For me, I don't care. As long as the book is good and the plotting and character and everything is done really well, I don't care if it's first person or third person, to be honest with you. Number 7, do you read dedications, author's notes, acknowledgements, or do you skip those? I would have to say that most times I skip the acknowledgements. I tend to always read the dedications because they're usually pretty quick, and the author's notes can be very interesting. I read some really good ones from Stephen King around The Dark Tower, especially the later books, because it does a good job of talking about, taking time off between, the third, fourth, and then fifth books. And so I definitely enjoyed that. I've also read some other authors' notes that I thought were really interesting with books, and I read those. Number 8, do you have a favorite reading beverage? For me, it's water. I would like to say coffee, but very rarely am I drinking coffee while reading, to be honest with you. I drink coffee in the mornings, and it's usually in front of the computer, getting ready for the day, getting my list together, answering emails, just really kicking off, jump-starting my day. And I don't drink coffee at night where I just don't really drink coffee while I read. It's usually water. And we're not drinkers, so I very rarely have wine or alcohol in the house. Tina and I just don't, we're not big into beverages or wine or anything like that. So it's so infrequent to have any of that in the house, let alone drink it while reading. Number 9, how do you decide what to read next? TBR, mood, goals, random choice. For me, it's kind of a combination of all of those. As I've said ad nauseum on the channel, my TBR is pretty different than most TBRs where it's a pile of books they want to get done in this month, or mine is kind of like, here's my next kind of stuff that I'm going to be reading in the near term. And that could last a month, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever. It just matter of getting through it. And it's definitely a combination of goals that I have for that year or whatnot, buddy reads, which I've been really busy with at the first half of this year. And then it's a lot of mood reads. And every once in a while I'll throw one in, just a random book in there that sounds good or something that I found. And so it's kind of all of those things. And I really like doing my TBR that way because it's freed up me to do buddy reads and have that flexibility. So for me, it's kind of all of those things. So, and the last is tag other people. Since this is my second original tag, the Reading Ticks tag is open to anyone who wants to participate. So I definitely want you to, even if your name is not listed, but I have quite a list here to go through. So I tagged the following people: Novel Insights, Adventures in Literature, Already Overbooked, Ted Read Instead, Robert G. Reader of Books, Book Chat with Pat, Books with Sam, Read by Fred, Pulp Mortem, Joseph Reads Books, Must Read More, Trav's Bookshelf, Some Other Character, Rowdy Player One, Audie, The Bearded Book Beast, Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, Mystery and Mayhem, Beyond Books, Christina Winikoff, Rainer Reads Stuff, Life on Books, Jess Bookgirl TV, Melinda at A Web of Stories, Great Books, Big Ideas, MJ at Reading This Life, Michael K. Vaughn, and Criminali. You've all been tagged in the Reading Ticks tag, my second original book tag. I hope you all play along and have a great week. I'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks.